All right, February 2023 Road Ahead. Nice. Looks like they posted this on February 7th. And today is, the 13th? So I am a week behind. I don't know how I missed this. I check the forums every day. Don't know how I missed this. But anyways, let's get it. Road Aheads are sometimes exciting. Depends. Sometimes they suck. They don't have anything to tell you. Like, I think June Road Ahead last year was pretty boring. Or with the year before that. But who knows? So let's get it. Hey, Hall Table Heroes. Welcome to the February 2023 Road Ahead. This month is packed with announcements including new additions to Tusken Tribe, UI changes, and a new hero's journey for the highly anticipated edition of Cal Kestis from the Star Wars Jedi franchise, and a new raid. We look forward to hearing your thoughts on these updates. Without further ado, enjoy February's Road Ahead. Geez, they just went all out and told us. They didn't keep any secrets behind. We got Tusken Tribe additions, UI changes, and Cal coming to the game. That's pretty cool, Cal. That's cool. Anyways, new additions to the Tusken faction. Some may say it's been a long time coming. Yeah, it actually has been. I mean, Tuskens have been in the game since day one. You had in the game since day one. And it's always just been 3. And Grand Arena wasn't a thing in the beginning of the game. So like a 3-man team was weird during those days. It was pointless. And the other 3-man teams that you had, you filled out. I think Jawa started out as 3-man team. You filled those out. And Ewoks, I think, Ewoks were always a 5-man. But wasn't there another one that was 3-man that they filled out? And yet Tuskens have just been sitting there, even though they're more relevant nowadays due to Book of Boba and Mandalorian. But haven't done anything about it, but apparently they're finally filling them out. So that's kind of cool. I mean, you got who sucks, and then you got Tusken Shaman, who's kind of just there. Tusken Raider's decent, but he can't carry the team himself. You know, it's not like he's a GL. So I don't know. Maybe these 2 new ones will be really good, though. Anyways. But we say they've just been waiting in the sand dunes for the right moment. We are bringing 2 new Tuskens to the Hall Table to finally complete your 5 Tusken squad. The Tusken Chieftain and Tusken Warrior. That makes me think of Prince of Persia back in the day in GameCube. Would that come out in 2005, I think? Oh yeah. Along with the rest of the Tusken faction, we'll have great synergy in the new upcoming raid. More information on that later in the road ahead, so be sure to prepare to do battle. So you're making a Tusken team just for a raid? It's kind of goofy. Tusken Chieftain. Look at that fake lightsaber hanging off of him. Link to kit. No thanks, I already had that video done. Coming to you from the Book of Boba is the solemn leader who provides a unique identity, and that brings the whole faction together. Chieftain brings with him momentum, previously only found on Boba Fett's Scion of Django. Under his leadership, Tusken units will gain momentum throughout the battle. Gain enough momentum and your Tuskens will have a chance to inflict an unresistible stun on opponents who attack them. His Omicron ability will allow you to include and synergize perfectly with Boba Fett, Scion of Django, and 3v3 Grand Arenas. Tusken Warrior, looking pretty creepy. Ooh, with that gaffy stick. You better know how to use that thing. Sure don't. His hits are weak. This fierce Tusken mentored Boba Fett in the Tusken ways after he joined the tribe. Her kit is built to directly synergize with the Tusken Chieftain. Okay. I'm trying to think of his kit and how anything would directly work with one other character. I don't know. Brings her own method of getting momentum onto Tusken allies. With enough momentum, her finishing strikes will cripple her target. What really sets this apart is her. I mean, that's not hair, that's head wraps. And why is the warrior a girl? Wouldn't that make more sense if it was a guy? Stronger, you know what I mean? Testosterone, bruh. While the main attraction for this update to the Tusken faction is the upcoming raid experience, we also want to make sure this faction has increased utility leading up to that event. The Tuskens will also find themselves particularly useful in upcoming galactic challenges, conquest feats, assault battles, and are you serious? Are they gonna seriously make assault battles that revolve around them just like they did with the Inquisitors? That's annoying. And of course, galactic challenges, they're gonna be like, bonuses for Tusken Raiders. Conquest feats, yeah, that'll be cool. Now I gotta work on stupid, weak, worthless Tuskens for Conquest? Come on. Anyways, it will be the focus of a new Datacron set. Are you... seriously? That's kind of dumb. We hope sharing this news ahead of time helps to inform your decisions on the journey you want to take over the coming months. I don't care about Tuskens that much unless you make them super good, which Chieftain's not. So this thing better be ridiculously OP, otherwise, what? Crate Dragon Raid. Speaking of the new raid, we're excited to have players participate in the upcoming Crate Dragon Hunt. The plans we are sharing with you are still in development, but let's get into some details of what you might expect. First, you'll be heading to the native home planet of the Crate Dragon, Tatooine. We hope your Tuskens are up for the challenge. Just like our art team will need to be up to the challenge of accurately depicting the enormous Crate Dragon in our game. We want to make sure you feel the size of this beast as you take it on. Experience. Without giving away too much of what you'll be encountering with the Crate Dragon, we want to let you know there will be two separate challenges to consider when you approach this raid. First, controlling the enemy monster with an array of debuffs. And second, dealing as much damage as possible during short windows of time. I mean, isn't that the goal of every raid? Controlling the enemy monster with an array of debuffs. That's kind of the goal of every raid. Every single one of them. Like, what? In previous raids, bosses are immune to many debuff effects because they can easily disrupt and trivialize a raid encounter. However, for this raid, we're introducing a new mechanic called Defiance that will require players to bring these debuffs to minimize the effects of the boss's attacks. During this time, players will want to remove as many stacks of Defiance as possible before the boss takes its next turn, lest they face some dire consequences. The exact list of affected debuffs and their associated impacts is still being worked on, but players will be able to more fully utilize their character's abilities to find success in raids that feature this mechanic. The burst damage window will require players to manage big damage cooldowns to avoid devastating attacks while scoring as well as they can. Maximizing the damage potential between these windows by using some of those big cooldowns outside of the window is one avenue toward improving performance. What are you talking about? Big cooldowns like Annihilate? Or what's the other one? Annihilate's 8. Isn't there another one that's good a lot? Aerial Ace, I think. Anyway, balancing ability cooldowns between damage and buffs windows while scoring as many points as possible outside of these moments is where we want to create a great deal of space for theory crafting and optimization. As with all raids, we expect this event to be a challenge at first, but you will figure out the core loops of the raid and fine-tune your attempts over time. Who can I bring to the raid? The new raid structure for this event allows for an even more thematic experience and a space for several factions to gain some new utility. For this event, players will be limited to specific factions that they have fought on the the Crate Dragon or have appeared primarily on Tatooine. For the Crate Dragon raid, you will be able to bring in the following factions: Hut Cartel, Jawa, Mandalorian, Old Republic, and Tusken. Let's see, Tusken weak, Jawa weak, Hut Cartel mid. Unless you have Jawa, then it's above mid. Mandalorian, and then Old Republic, These aren't very good. Note that future raids may also thematically limit the units you can bring in by faction. Well, that's stupid. General raid changes explained. Alongside the release of the Crate Dragon raid, there will be some fundamental changes to how raids are handled and created. These changes are aimed at providing a clearer path of what raid to focus on and help folks reduce the amount of time spent handling and participating in raids that they have already mastered. Similar to the new territory battle experience, this new system for raids is designed to be flexible and more expandable than raids were previously. We also want to create a system that allows us to produce more raids in the future faster and easier. Point-based system. First, we want to change the way raids distribute rewards to a system that promotes cooperation and not inter-guild competition. A guild often needs to really pull together to complete the newest tier or event that they have reached, and it feels contradictory to then ask them to compete against each other simultaneously. With that in mind, we will be moving raids to a point-based system. Let me stop right there just to commentate on that last statement they were talking about. I mean, they're talking about how you're basically competing, how do they phrase this? Yeah, you're competing against one another internally. Inter-guild competition. That's kind of true, because I mean everybody's putting up different amounts, and then you get better prizes, more points that you put up. So like, you know, if you haven't mastered the regular rank or raid, then you're trying to get in first or whatever, so then you can get those prizes. So you're competing with your co-guild members, but at the same time, the better somebody does, it benefits the guild in the end, because as long as the raid gets completed, that's all that matters. It's like for the challenge pit, you know, when somebody puts up high damage, I'm not like, oh man, I wish I could do it so I could be in first. No, I'm like, oh cool, you took a heavy brunt, so we have less to worry about, so we can complete this. You know, getting prizes even when you're rank 40 is still better than nothing. So it depends. I understand where they're coming from, but I don't always see it as a competition. I see it as good. We're winning. We're beating this thing. Come on, who's left to put up a little more damage? Well, let me see what I can do. Hopefully other people are seeing what they got left. So, I don't know. But anyways, players will no longer be competing against their guildmates, but instead focusing on earning the most points progress through phases. This means everyone in the guild will be earning the same rewards at the end of the event. There are some other changes to rewards as part of this release, so see the section below for more details. This was also a great opportunity to update the structure of raids for the future. Raids can now have a variable number of phases. Legacy raids will continue to have their 4 phases. The Crate Dragon raid will have a single phase, and other new raids may have a different number of phases. A raid phase will only complete after enough attempts have been submitted. Players will no longer be able to transition between phases in the middle of combat. What? Players will no longer be able to transition between phases in the middle of combat. What's that mean? Like if you're in the Sith raid and you beat round 2, or whatever, phase 2, which is the round versus Scion, and then it goes to Treya. Are they saying that once you beat Scion, then that's it? Your turn's over? You can't transition into starting up attacking Treya? So that means they're trying to take out, like, soloing. Is that what's happening? Attempts will have a maximum possible score, which will scale with difficulty. Once this score is reached, the attempt will successfully end, and the player will be able to submit their result if desired. What? Are they making it you can't solo anymore? Well, that was always like an achievement when you finally got to that status that you could solo. That sucks. The final phase of each raid will stay open as long as the raid is active. This allows guild members to submit all of their attempts to earn as many points as they can. One raid only. As we mentioned above, we also want to streamline the raid experience. We want players to focus on completing the latest experience and not juggling multiple raids that you have already mastered. If you've already mastered a raid, then you're just regularly simming the raid to earn your reward crates for the event, instead of an epic battle against terrifying foes. We decided therefore to simplify the raid system, instead of building on top of each event with a new one. One of the biggest changes with the updated raid system is that it will only allow for guilds to run one raid at a time. You can still pick any of the current raids, but your guild no longer needs to worry about running multiple raids concurrently. This will allow you to focus on the most challenging raid your guild can attempt and work on growing to complete it. Rewards will be updated to reflect this new event format. As a side note, raid simming has now been removed, as you only have to focus on one raid at a time and does not make sense under the new system. Because of this new system, we did not add simming to the heroic Sith raid, nor redo that reward track. We did not add simming to the heroic Sith raid, nor redo that reward track. What? In an effort to streamline inventory management, We've gone ahead and made raids have a single starting ticket, which will be used to launch all raids past and future. There will be one raid ticket to rule them all. Once this raid comes out, other raid tickets will be removed and each guild will have the new ticket max so you can dive into your first raid with the updated experience right away. I don't like that you can only do one raid now. I mean, it was cool before. Like, sometimes we'd have 3 going, 2 of them which are simmable, and then 1 that we actually had to participate in. And then it's like, you get a lot of rewards. Now, we're never going to have that anymore. And then I'm just thinking, like, what if you're a smaller guild and you're trying to grow? You know, if you could run multiple raids, you might not be getting a lot of rewards, but still, that means you'd be working on Han and Kenobi and Traya all at the same time. Now it's like 1 at a time. I don't like this idea. This is kind of stupid. It also helped if you were smaller, but in like a guild that could sim. Then you were getting the rewards. You didn't have to worry. Like, now a bigger guild's not gonna want to go after something more basic, even if you need it. Like, say Han. You know, you're never gonna get to see the regular Rancor raid, and that means you're never gonna really get to get Han. I don't like that. Unless they change the rewards, so then they all come with those prizes or something. But otherwise, I don't like this. Reward system changes. With Crate Dragon and future raids, we will be adjusting how you earn rewards. We no longer want players to compete against their guildmates and instead work together to get as far as they can and earn the most rewards. With this change, there will be 2 different ways to earn rewards: a guild track and an individual track. You will earn rewards based on the amount of points you contribute from the individual track and can be claimed immediately. You will also receive rewards from your guild's track depending on the amount of points everyone in your guild earned at the end of the event. You also will earn rewards even if your guild does not complete the raid 100%. Guilds will be rewarded based on how many points your guild earned. So if you do complete the raid, do you get like a reward for that as well? So you get the points and completion, or because if it doesn't matter if you complete it, it just goes by points, then like, what? I don't know. While we will reduce the amount of locations where you can earn rewards, we've taken this into close consideration so that actively participating in a raid, regardless of difficulty, will earn rewards from the personal track that equal and replace the old sim rewards, ensuring that all players retain access to those goods. Playing at higher difficulties to earn more points will steadily gain access to new additional rewards. Guilds participating at a high level of difficulty will see more bountiful rewards than the total sum of prior raids. Okay, so did that answer my question I had before? You'll still be able to get all those character shards and stuff? Hopefully so, because otherwise, what the F? Guild reward track. Guild members will receive the same number of rewards at the end of the event. 1 attempt must be made to be eligible for rewards. Yeah, just like Grand Arena. Individual reward track. Rewards earned on this track can be claimed immediately when earned. If you miss claiming these rewards, they get sent to your inbox when the raid ends. Rewards now include new raid currency that can be used to purchase items from shipments. This special raid currency can only be earned from the featured raid, the latest raid released. Whenever a player joins a new guild, they are subjected to a lockout period before they can participate in a raid. Players can participate in any raid that is started after their lockout period expires. I mean, that's not new. You always had that lockout. It was always 24 hours. So if you joined, it was for anything. I mean, if you joined in the middle of a territory battle, you couldn't join in. You had to wait until the next one. Or if you joined in the middle of a territory war or whatever, you know, it's always been there. I don't know why they're putting that like that's something new. Limited faction use per raid. We will be limiting the factions you can bring into Crate Dragon, as well as potentially in future raids. This allows us the opportunity to implement interesting raid mechanics without needing to account for every single character in the game. While this creates many opportunities for theory crafting, it also means we have to add in extra boss mechanics to account for some of the unique abilities some characters have in the game. Strangely enough, a limited character pool opens up the design space here for us to do more extreme mechanics and bosses. This also helps us create a more thematic experience and create special mechanics for each of these new events. Star Wars is a beautiful universe, and we want to continue to embrace how cool and extraordinary the universe is. Note: existing raids remain open to same units as before. Came out weird. Raid base difficulty. All raids going forward will have a base difficulty level that can be modified and adjusted for individuals to earn more points for their guild. You can choose difficulty modifiers prior to each attempt and restart without any penalty if you feel the battle was too hard or too easy. This also means that current and future raids will be available to all types of guilds. Higher GP guilds can attempt the same raid as lower GP guilds, but with harder modifiers to get more points and more rewards. Base difficulty will be around G10 HSTR. Note: this balance is still being worked on and may change. Raids have additional difficulty modifiers that can increase the challenge in exchange for applying multipliers to point totals earned at the end of a raid. Difficulty modifiers are selected per player, not per attempt. Wait, I just added not. That's not there. Difficulty modifiers are selected per player per attempt. You can submit different attempts at different modifiers, so you can always set the difficulty to the optimal level for a team you are bringing in. God, they got a lot that they're talking about the raids. This is kind of getting boring now. Limited successful attempts per player. Starting with Crate Dragon Raid and all future raids, there will be a limit of attempts per player. This will allow players to focus on theory crafting and building out their best attempts rather than needing to throw their entire roster against the wall. This also allows players who can't be present at raid launch an opportunity to attempt the raid and not have to rush and worry about a guildmate soloing the raid himself. Yeah, I know. I realize that's what you were trying to do before. But still, I mean, if it lets you do a whole phase, it takes 4 people and the raid's done, so... The total number of attempts may vary from raid to raid, and you will be able to restart an attempt and try again without any penalties. Don't be afraid to try a variety of modifiers. You can always re-choose the modifiers and attempt again without any penalty. Your raid attempts will only count if you submit that attempt and are happy with the score. You can retry without submitting a score as many times as you want. Legacy raid changes. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the existing raids and things that are going to happen to them. With all the changes we'll be making to the Crate Dragon Raid, some of those adjustments will trickle down to our older raids and hopefully make life easier for folks participating in them. While we were able to make some adjustments to older raids, there are still some legacy aspects that we were unable to change, and they will remain the same unless noted. The Pit, Tank Takedown, and Sith Triumvirate will be considered legacy raids and adjusted in these ways. 1. They now use the new raid point system in battle. 2. They have guild reward tracks, with all guild members receiving the same rewards. 3. Their final phase will end once the boss has been defeated, like they currently do. 4. They won't have individual reward tracks. 5. Non-heroic tiers now have a 3-day timer. 5A. They do not end early when the raid is completed. What? So even if you're done, you still gotta ride out the 3 days? Is that what that's saying? Starter guilds now only launch tiers of the Pit Raid. We are removing any steps related to finishing specific legacy raids, as well as steps too closely tied to specific territory battles from all prestigious quests. Okay, that's under the quests. So getting rid of that crap. That's good. Let's see. We've also made strides to streamline the progression of these raids to make it better for new players and give guilds a more direct route of advancement. The first 5 difficulty tiers of the Sith Triumvirate have been removed. It now only has 2 difficulties, normal and heroic. I thought it always did. Am I an idiot and didn't realize that? I thought there was a raid that was like that. What do we have? We have this tank down. Oh, maybe is that the tank takedown that's like that currently? I don't know. Anyways, the order of the raids. The pit is... Well, that says greater than, but I think they meant less than. It goes the pit, then tank takedown, then Sith triumvirate, then crate dragon. What about challenge pit? Where's that at? Did they just get rid of it? Or like is crate dragon now challenge pit instead? I mean, it would make sense because that was kind of boring. You know what I mean? It was still a rancor. Now it's something different. We will also be removing the challenge rancor raid. Oh, well, there it is. From the game, as it has served its purpose in our previous raid system. With our upgraded system and the direction we plan on taking raids in the future, we felt its existence is now unnecessary. We are removing achievements related to completing the challenge rancor. Well, I'd hope so. I mean, you can't complete those achievements if it's no longer a game mode. That's ridiculous. Raid blackout period. To facilitate the transition to the new raid system, we will disable all raid content approximately 1 week before this release. At the start of the blackout period, all raids in progress will be cancelled and no new raids can be started. These events will not pay out rewards if they are cancelled. All guilds will be granted the maximum amount of the new raid currency once the blackout period is over and can start the raid of their choice immediately. Additional changes. Raids will now run their full duration, regardless of how quickly you complete the raid. Raids are no longer able to be abandoned. This allows for the rest of the guild to still earn points. We have overhauled the events screen to include the raids, and they are now accessible from the events table in the cantina. You can now not only access solo events from this screen, but your guild's activities such as raids, territory wars, and territory battles will also be shown here as well. You can now view the guild info screen for your own guild. Okay. Hero's Journey, Cal Kestis. Here's something exciting. Cal Kestis is coming to the holotables in collaboration with Respawn. We are taking the hero of Star Wars, Jedi Fallen Order, and bringing him to Galaxy of Heroes. We are excited for the continuation of Cal's journey in Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Our Jedi Fallen Order journey starts with Cal Kestis. I hope I'm saying that right, Kestis. Oh, maybe I'm saying it stupidly. Anyhow, a rigger in the scrapping yard and unaligned Force user trying to make his way through the galaxy. Along with several other characters from the game, these events will culminate with a hero's journey for Cal Kestis Survivor. In addition to Cal Kestis and his hero's journey version, Seer Junda and Marin will be joining the holotables to assist the young Force user on his journey. Cal Kestis, an unaligned Force user trying to hide his past from the Empire. You know, they call him unaligned, but isn't he Jedi? I mean, geez, it's called Jedi Fallen Order. Like, as part of his abilities, BD1 will bring some much-needed medical attention to the squad. Seer Junda, a leader character for unaligned Force users of all types, works extremely well with Cal Kestis. Really, would have never guessed. Marin is Night Sister who lived on her own world of Dathomir during the Imperial era, designed to lift the Night Sister squad. Oh. I mean, that's kind of what Mon Mothma does, and the zombie, but okay, whatever. We are extremely excited that the hero's journey will culminate with Cal Kestis Survivor. Needless to say, this version of Cal Kestis will be a force to be reckoned with in territory battle, and a must-have for any holotable hero. You can expect to use Cal Kestis Survivor in dedicated territory battle missions, and will be able to make good use of his 3 dedicated Omicrons. In addition, you can get more out of your hero's journey Cal Kestis by slotting him into Jedi PvP teams, which will help complete the Jedi squads you've been cultivating over the years. Help complete the Jedi squads. I mean, we got a few of them now. We got, you got Jedi Master Luke one, a Jedi Master Kenobi one. You got a Jedi Knight Luke version. You have a version with Bastilla, a version with Jedi Revan. I don't know. What are you talking about? We will more to say about this event in future characters as we dive into the world of Jedi Fallen Order, but here are a few things you can expect. 5 new characters from the Jedi Fallen Order universe. Use of these characters for conquest feats and territory battle bonus zones. New territory battle planet for Rise of the Empire. Cal Kestis' mission on Bracca with Sir Junda. Cool. Anyhow, that's a wrap. Thank you for reading, or I guess in this case, listening to me. And we hope you are as excited as we are for the coming months. It's going to be a busy quarter as we jump from Tatooine to Bracca to Kashyyyk and many other more planets. But we'll have another installment of Road Ahead in April. Wow, only 2 more months? Where we will dive deeper into the new raid and maybe drop a few more exciting announcements. So stay tuned! What parts of this Road Ahead are you most excited about? We'd love for you to let us know in the forums. Check out the discussion link below. And until next time, see you on the hall tables. Why are they stealing my phrase? And until next time, I said see ya. What? Alright, there it is. God damn, that was long, boy. I forgot about all the stuff that I talked about up here. So long down there. Yeah, there was these Tusken Raiders up here, and then all this crate dragon crap, and all this stuff changing to the raids, and It was basically all about the raids, though. I was pumped about this, and that's all it was, about raids and Cal Kestis. And man, reading about Cal Kestis, that makes me want to get a PS4 or PS5 or something, just so I can play those games. I have a Switch, and those aren't on that. Anyways, I suppose that is all I or they got for this. So yeah, kind of like they tried to say. Thanks for checking this out with me, and until whatever comes next, I said see ya.